The Dream Season Football League Radio. Hello and a pleasant good afternoon from an overcast TCF Bank Stadium in Minneapolis, Minnesota, where today the Minnesota Vikings at 3-0 on the year clash against one of the top teams in the NFC, the 1-2 Washington Redskins of 1983, and one of the best in the game, Mr. Phil Nunziata. He's been around a long time. What are your thoughts right before kickoff in a game that has plenty of playoff implications in week number 4?
Well, it's been a while since I've sat in this booth with you, and I could not have picked a better game to return to. With this game between the Redskins and Minnesota, like you said, we're going to see points by the bunches, and I'm excited for it to start.
Two of the best quarterbacks in NFL history, and it's the former Eagle and now Minnesota Viking Randall Cunningham that will take the field right now. He was one of the best QBs in the game, and at age 35 in his 14th season out of UNLV will take the field. And Randall Cunningham, the #1 quarterback rating in the NFL for the Dream Season with a 120.5 QBR. A phenomenal campaign thus far for Cunningham. Will take the field. It's a 1st and 10. Over the middle, his pass is in and out of the hands of Chris Carter, incomplete.
Well, we don't see a lot of drops by Chris Carter very often, but Randall Cunningham, one of my favorite players of all time, the way he's able to make plays and use the pieces around him. The Vikings are talented top to bottom, and between the talent of Randall Cunningham and the talent of everyone else around him, this is a hell of a team.
After the incomplete pass, Randall Cunningham and the Vikings offense, which ranks #1 scoring in the NFL, on a 2nd and 10, delay give to Robert Smith, and he shimmies all the way up to the 25-yard line, and a gain of 8 to get things started on 1st down for the Vikings.
It'll be interesting to see how the Vikings' run game comes into play here, because the more they can get their running back involved, the more it'll be easier for Randall Cunningham to make plays with his legs if they got to look at the other guy in the backfield.
Yeah, Cunningham leading the league in rushing yards as well. A phenomenal dual threat, and Robert Smith really helps get things going on a 3rd down. Breaks another tackle to Robert Smith, and he's all the way near midfield. A 20-yard gash from Robert Smith, and Phil, you already mentioned it, that'll get things going.
Yeah, I mean, you look at this team, and you look at Cunningham and Chris Carter and the freak Randy Moss. You know, Smith is one of the unsung heroes of this team. You know, if you don't play him the respect he deserves and keep your eye on him, he's going to burn you for some big plays.
Now, Robert Smith, you look at the numbers, a man who's only averaging 3.5 yards per carry, but it's his ability not only in the running game, but also to make himself a dual threat with a couple of 12 catches, that is, through the air. He's been a phenomenal 1-2 punch for Viking team. You know they're going to throw the football, but 3 straight runs from Minnesota has really got that Washington Redskin defense off guard. We take a look at the starting 11 for those guys, and I think it all starts with the men back deeper in the secondary. One of the best to do it in the game, Tony Peters and Mark Mumphrey. Those are the 2 safeties in today's ball game. Of course, the Washington Redskins were pretty darn good too, a team that finished 14-2 in 1983. They thus far haven't had the similar success as they did in the early 80s, but on defense, forcing the Vikings into another 3rd down, this time 3rd and 4.
I really like this game plan with the Vikings, as we all expected with the way this team is set up, that they're just going to air it out. They're really giving it to them on the ground, and I don't know if the Redskins expected that out of the gate.
Now 5 straight runs after that first pass by Cunningham. Now looking over the middle, chucks it to Moss. A leaping grab and a 12-yard 1st down on 3rd and 4. Move the chains. It'll be 3 first downs for the Vikings to begin this drive.
Well, Randy Moss hasn't seen a football he doesn't like very often, and even less that he doesn't catch. If you put it in his vicinity, he's probably coming down with it.
A very impressive opening drive by way of both Moss and Cunningham to begin things. A weak eye give to Smith. Another open hole. Breaks out for another tackle, and he's down inside the 30 to the 28-yard line. Another 8-yard pickup, Phil.
Yeah, the way this run game is just clicking on all cylinders to start this game, it'll be very interesting later on to see how they incorporate a play-action pass. Because the way that Smith has been running, he's been breaking tackles, getting yards after contact, which you always want out of your running back. If they can make this offense 2-dimensional, it's almost unstoppable.
Smith with 6 carries already in just the first drive of the game. Dots the eyes, 2nd and 2, and the 7th carry of this opening drive to Robert Smith, and he's got another 1st down, this time a gain of 3.
You know, quarterback likes running backs like this where he doesn't have to do too much except turn around and hand the ball off. We know Cunningham can make all those throws, but it's good that he has some help in the backfield there to lighten the load on his shoulders.
Now, Robert Smith, 187 yards in the first 3 weeks of the season. He has just about that many on this drive. Leroy Horde, the 9-year man out of Michigan, gets the call up the middle, and the Redskins are all over it. In fact, he may have even lost a yard as number 76 for the Redskins, Matt Mendenhall, was in on the stop.
Well, you know, the way he was running, it was about time he got a breather. You know, you give your backup running back a snap or two, and, you know, he's just not on the same level as the starter. That's why he's sitting behind him. But it'll be interesting to see now if, you know, with their starting running back on the bench, if they put it in the air here and see how that works for him.
Now back to throw goes Cunningham. Just the 4th attempt of the game for the quarterback. He's got Hatchett, who's all the way inside the 15, down to the 11-yard line. Another huge pickup, that time 16 yards, and the Vikings now are knocking on the door in the red zone.
Yeah, nice drag route there by Hatchett, and Cunningham was very, very patient with it. He didn't hit him in the first or even second window. He waited till he cleared all the way across the field. He was wide open, dumped it off to him. Good pass for a first down.
This drive started all the way back inside their own 20. The 11th play of a march that's taken over 7 minutes. Cunningham throws over the middle. It's incomplete. Now 2nd and 10.
Well, you know, Cunningham's been on it so far. Only completion until then was the first pass of the game. 2nd and 10 here. This team has a very deep playbook. It'll be interesting to see where they jump in here. Eventually, you're going to think they're going to throw it up deep to Moss.
Now the Vikings 3-0 on the year, a phenomenal offense, number 1 in scoring, 2 in total offense. Robert Smith up the middle, and Matt Mendenhall is there again, making a gain of 1. And we take a look at what the Vikings have been able to do, Phil, and it's not just their rushing offense that's been phenomenal, but on a 3rd down and 10, everyone, including Hatchett, has to be a man to watch in that Redskins defense. Looking to throw, Cunningham underneath, flips it out to Glover, and he's wrestled down at the 5. That'll be a 3rd down stop by the Washington defense. The Vikings on their first possession go 13 plays, but will have to settle for a field goal.
Not a terrible play call there. They got the route they wanted. He was open in the flats, makes the catch, and even had room to run. But the Redskins were able to corral him and bring him down before the first down. Decent offensive call, but better defensive execution.
No, that was not the only perfect play call on that drive. Minnesota took all of 8 minutes to go from their own 18 to the visiting 5, but unfortunately they'll have to settle for a Gary Anderson field goal, and the kick is good. The Vikings lead 3-0 early. We'll see what the Redskins have to answer right after this. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. The dream season is underway. Welcome back to TCF Bank Stadium. It's not your prototypical Metrodome, which is what the Vikings did play in the 1980s and 1990s, of course, as Anderson bangs this one away, but still a very raucous crowd here from Minneapolis, Minnesota, as a man who's going to have to try and combat not only that defense, but that crowd for 4 quarters. Quarterback Joe Theismann will take the field. The numbers are remarkable despite some of the turnovers. This man has 5 interceptions and a fumble this year, Phil.
Yeah, Joe Theismann, one of the best to ever play the game. He's really a guy that can rally the players around him. As you said, he's been about average so far in this season. This is the perfect game for him to turning him around. Big stage here.
And with a win, the Redskins can crawl all the way back into the thick of things. Theismann going deep and is nearly picked off. Intended for Art Monk as Corey Fuller is there to bat it away. Now 2nd and 10.
Yeah, you know, you talk about those 5 interceptions, and we almost saw in interception number 6 there. Theismann, he's a bit of a gunslinger. If he thinks he's got a chance, he's never really been afraid to take it, and why not with receivers like Art Monk on your squad. Threw it up deep there. Really should have came down with the interception. It'll be interesting to see how these DBs play against these wide receivers throughout the game.
Back to throw, Theismann. He'll just heave that one away. 2 very regrettable plays by the Washington Redskins and an early 3rd down against one of the top defenses in the NFL for the dream season. The Vikings offense was pretty darn good, but Ed McDaniel at middle linebacker keys a defense in the Vikings that is amongst the tops in the dream season. Don't forget that secondary, Corey Fuller, Jimmy Hitchcock, Orlando Thomas, and Robert Griffith your starting secondary for the Vikings. It's a 3rd and 10 and a must-have already for the Vikings, who trail by 3. Over the middle, the pass hauled in by Charlie Brown, and a critical 3rd down pickup by the Redskins. It's a 14-yard gainer. Move the chains for Washington.
You know, Theismann looked a little gun-shy starting this game. He was letting the ball out too soon before his receivers would even get open. It's good that he gets first completion. The first completion is always very important for a quarterback's composure.
A real confident Joe Theismann back to the line. The 4th straight pass for the Redskins, and he'll flip it out far side and has John Riggins for a gain of 4.
Oh, you want to talk about one of the most physical running backs to ever play the game. You know, John Riggins will just destroy you if he meets you in the hole. It's very difficult for one man to take him down by themselves.
6'2", 230 pounds. John Riggins, he'll go into block. Underneath, it's Joe Washington, the other halfback. If John Riggins is the bulldozer, the scat back, or the speed race car would be Joe Washington, the really speedy wideout, for 7 and a first down.
Yeah, between the two of them, you have an Army tank with a Ferrari engine. They complement each other so well, and, you know, they're able to bring this running game into 2 different dimensions at the blink of an eye.
6th consecutive pass for Theismann, and you talk about the gun-shy ability. My goodness, Theismann overthrows another pass, incomplete, now 2nd and 10.
He's looking a little antsy early in this game. As I said earlier, he's not giving his receivers time to complete their routes. You know, there is pressure there, but there's no reason he can't hang on to that ball that extra second and deliver it correctly.
7 consecutive passes for the Washington Redskins. Now the first run up the middle to Riggins. He's loose all the way to the 45-yard line. You don't see that very often, but Riggins gets hit on first contact, but still gains 8. Make it 3rd and 2 upcoming.
Yeah, people aren't exactly going to be, you know, lining up to be the first guy to meet Riggins. You know, as you said, he got 8 yards before he was even contacted there. Griffin with a nice open field tackle in the hole there. I don't know how they're going to be able to do that all game. But, you know, good play there, run game, now 3rd and 2, this could be big.
After the first run of the opening quarter for the Redskins, another give up the middle to Riggins, and he will lean his way forward for a 4-yard pickup and a critical first down pickup. Now 3 first downs for the Redskins on their opening drive.
The Redskins' policy has always been, you know, at least with this squad, 3rd and 4 or less, you got to give it to the big man. He can almost fall forward and get that for you. So 3rd and 2, not surprising that Riggins picked that one up.
Fresh set of down for the Washington Redskins at the Viking 41. Back to throw goes Theismann. Looking, flips it out underneath. He's got Riggins, cuts upfield, and he is dragged down after a pickup of about 6 as Corey Fuller was in on the stop. 2nd and 4.
Yeah, Riggins, one of the, you know, unsung abilities of him is that he did have decent hands for a guy his size, you know, back in the 80s. You know, they really helped revolutionize, you know, what the screen pass was and giving your running back space. Even someone who wasn't necessarily fast but had that power, it was a game changer for them. Look for that later in the game.
10 catches for 74 yards by way of Riggins in this season, and the pass going to the halfback is incomplete. The Redskins are not quite in field goal range yet. It would be a 48-yard try from here. Back to throw, Theismann to free rush, and down goes the quarterback as Ed McDaniel knifes in there. It's a loss of 9.
That's a big play there. As you said, they weren't quite in field goal range, and now they're definitely not, as he's brought down almost in midfield. He's just untouched. Redskins get to start this drive in pretty decent field position.
Well, they were going to punt the ball, and the Redskins potentially could have started inside the 10 instead of 1st and 10 at the 40-yard line. And John Riggins leans forward for a 10-yard gain that'll move the chains, and the Redskins are in plus territory here. It's a team that with a touchdown could take the lead. Good
route running there, and he put the ball right where it needed to be. And as you said, once he got contacted, he just had to fall forward and got that first down. They're picking up the tempo a little bit here.
Now under 11 minutes to go before halftime, Theismann flips it underneath. It's caught by Rick Walker, the tight end, catch number 1 today, and he's out of bounds. It's a gain of 5.
You know, this isn't a team that necessarily blows the top off the defense very often. They're very, you know, medium to short with their routes, as you saw there by another 5-yard completion. This is a team that knows how to take a lot of time off the clock and be very efficient with their passing.
For a man like Joe Theismann, who's thrown more than his fair share of incompletions, nice to get him going. It's a run on 2nd down for the quarterback Theismann, and Plays that we didn't expect by Theismann in this game. Of course, the interceptions are a cause for concern. Washington counters with runs, quarterback runs, quick throws, screens, and it does the job on that down. Move the chains. Again, after a gain of 9, 1st and 10 at the hosting 36-yard line. 9:09 to go. Vikings lead by 3. Shotgun snap to Theismann. Pressured. Evades out of a sack. Going deep down the field. The pass is nearly caught. John Riggins could have had it inside the 5. He drops the football. Now 2nd and 10.
You know, Riggins for a running back has decent hands. He's not someone who's going to run a deep route and turn around and catch that ball. If that was anyone else, that might have been caught. You know, Art Monk and Doling in there. But that was a great play to evade the rush, and he put that ball right where it needed to be. If they can connect down the field a little bit more, we're going to have a game here.
Empty set for Joe Theismann. Fires sideline. He's got Rick Walker for about a pickup of 4. Theismann loved the deep throw there to begin this drive, and maybe on a 3rd and 6 they take another deep shot. This is a team in the Redskins that can strike at any moment. Art Monk and Charlie Brown, two of the best in the business. Art Monk without a catch, though, in today's game. Theismann looking to throw. Over the middle, he's got Walker on a leaping grab, but Orlando Thomas makes the stop on 3rd down, and they'll have to settle for a field goal.
Yeah, you know, they're a quick kick away, you know, one of the greatest kickers in the game here, you know, trying to tie it up for them. But you might be wondering why they keep going short, and the quick answer is the few times they've gone deep is it has not worked. At least they're getting yards, and at least they're getting completions. So they might attempt it for a good while, but yeah, looking to tie it up here. And for all the damage that the Vikings have done, if they can tie it up this late in the first half, they're looking pretty good.
Mark Mosley, who has made every field goal this season, 4 of 4 in the first 3 weeks, to attempt this one from 45. It looks good, and it is good. And the Redskins, after all the damage, as you mentioned, they've been dominated in time of possession, in yards, and 3rd downs, yet we are tied with 8:01 to go before halftime. It's 3-3. This is a team in the Vikings that have made plenty of noise on the offensive side. It's amazing how, well, the Vikings, they have dominated the stat book, and they have done so without the services of Chris Carter and Randy Moss in this game. It's been Robert Smith, a one-headed running attack, 16 carries for 92 yards. Here's run number 17, and the Redskins bottle that one up, and the Vikings are in danger of back-to-back 3rd down failed attempts against that Redskin defense, Phil, make it a 3rd and 4.
Yeah, they've dominated this game on paper, but on the scoreboard, it's dead even here. Look for them. They got the empty backfield. They got to get this ball in the air, and they got to pick up the tempo a little bit here.
Cunningham with the empty set, looking to throw, fires, and he's got Moss. A critical 12-yard pickup. It was a crow route and a 1st down pickup for the Vikings.
Right in the gut, right between the 8 and the 4, and you know Randy Moss is coming in with that one. He's hit immediately after, but he tucks it in, 1st down. Let's see if they put it in the air a little bit more here before the end of the half to get a touchdown.
Well, Randy Moss, who in 1998 was a rookie out of Marshall University, you got to respect his speed, and Darrell Green certainly did. Of course, he's one of the fastest defensive backs in the game, and he just let him get a 10-yard cushion and another 1st down. Robert Smith, 2 yards away from 100 yards. Didn't expect that at any game this month, but he's been phenomenal and near the century mark and could potentially run for 200 yards in this game. 2nd and 6. The single back is Robert Smith, who's gotten the ball 18 times in the first half. Quick drop back, Cunningham over the middle. He's got Andrew Glover all the way inside the 45. It's a pickup of 15 yards and a Viking 1st down.
You know, great catch on a short route and a lot of yards after catch, and he didn't even get, a contact with a defensive player until a good 10, 12 yards down the field. Those are the plays you want from your role-playing receivers when they can make big plays in the middle of the field while your stars are on the outside.
Andrew Glover in his 9th season out of Grambling State. 1st and 10, single back handoff to Robert Smith, and he's inside the 40, down to the 38-yard line, and Robert Smith has officially eclipsed the century mark, 101 yards on 19 carries.
What a great game for him. The only bad thing is they only have so much to show for it. They're deadlocked at 3. We got to see if the Vikings can get a touchdown and spread this lead out before halftime.
Handoff to Smith up the middle, and he takes a tumble down to the 34-yard line. It's a gain of 4. Tackle made by Mel Kaufman. Leroy Horde checks into the game, and he'll be into block. Cunningham's pressured, evades out of a sack, going down the field, and Randy Moss inside the 10 has got it down to the 8-yard line. Abracadabra, Cunningham makes it a 1st and goal.
I should know better than to count out Randall Cunningham, but he looks sacked as sacked can be, and he showed off his athleticism and throws it to maybe the only guy that has more athleticism than him on this field. Throws the defensive player to the ground. Moss making the catch on the sideline. This team is amazing to watch.